Everyone. Another brand new episode of Women of Community Banking podcast. I've got Laura with me today. Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Perfect. Can't complain. Friday almost about to end. Not end the day. I would say mid Friday. So can't complain. It's been amazing. And again, thank you for joining our podcast. I mean, I really appreciate it. Uh, Quick introduction. Who's Laura? Laura is the Chief Operating Officer of OneAZ Credit Union, based out of the beautiful city Phoenix, where I love going every single quarter. So that's who Laura is. Laura has more than 2 decades, actually 2.5 decades of experience in financial services. She spent huge amount of years in commercial banks earlier, now moving to credit unions to take the mission of credit unions forward. So Laura, I'm not sure if I did a justice to your introduction. If you want, you can add something.
You did great, Anurag. Thank you. And it's a pleasure to be on this. I've been following your podcast for a time now and looking at all the amazing women in community banking and in credit unions. And it's really an honor to be a part of this today. So thank you for having me. And it's Friday the 13th. So it's going to be, it'll be a great day to talk about all things related to me and the credit union.
Absolutely, Laura. We would love to share your journey. Absolutely. Let's talk about your journey, right, Laura? So you had an illustrious career, right? So let's talk about your journey. What keeps you going, and what has been your journey so far?
Okay, great question. So it's funny. Like you said, I've been in banking for about 25 years. So I graduated, with a degree in marketing and got my master's in marketing. And at one time, I thought I was going to be this famous movie star, and then realized I couldn't carry a tune. So that kind of had to be reworked, and decided to go in to banking. And I'm an accidental banker. Had my dad was a banker, but I didn't want anything to do with the banking world. And my aunt sent my resume in, and I got a call from First Union, and they offered me a banker position, but it was contingent upon Y2K. So, because my start date was January 18th of 2000. And so had the world ended, I was not to report to the Wedgwood Square branch at the time. But luckily, Y2K was a blip on the radar, and I set foot in a branch for the first time and fell in love with it. And my journey has taken me from banker to manager to district manager, so forth, so forth, so forth, so forth, working in many different aspects of the financial business, primarily in sales and operations. And so when you ask me the question about what drives me, it's really the people. So, my dad, who was a 40 plus year veteran in the banking business, he always said to me, honey, it doesn't matter your title
Yep.
or what they call you. At the end of the day, you're in the people business. Because when you take care of the people will take care of the customers or the members. They will work hard for you, and they'll work hard for the organization. And as I look back at my career and when I've had the opportunity to manage amazing people, I always remember him saying that to me, and it's so true. And that's what keeps me going is the people and being able to coach them, develop them, lead them, guide them, motivate them, and what they give back to me in terms of kind of refilling my well on how excited they are to take that journey and to be a part of something. So it's really been a fun journey over 25 years, and I have no regrets, absolutely not. As I look back, and it's taken me all over the United States,
Yep.
as well, and I'm still friends with the people, with my very first leader when I started in banking, 20 plus years ago. And that's pretty exciting. So
Absolutely, right? I mean, we talked about that you are always in a people's business.
yeah.
That's what we should remember always. You can only make it happen if you're managing this well. Uh, Let me ask you one question about your current role. So, Laura, what do you do? I mean, we know that you're a CEO of OneAZ, but what is your current role? That's one. And second, why do you do what do you do?
Yeah. So I think the COO plays such an important role. And it's a little bit of, if you think of the Wizard of Oz, right? Kind of the behind the curtain, right? So what the chief operating officer does is really coordinate and orchestrate the operations from the sales side and the operations side. So it's really the viewpoint of end to end. And I'll tell you, it really gets me excited because it's so fun to see that from, I'll call it a look to book kind of view when you're running a financial institution. So you've got these amazing managers, bankers, and tellers kind of on the front
Yep.
line bringing the business in, and they get excited because they've hit their goals, they've hit their production, they've helped customers and members succeed financially. But then they kind of turn it over and they don't really know what happens to that loan. And that's when you've kind of got this operation side of the business that comes in from deposit operations, card services, loan operations, fulfillment, and funding. And they take that and then they make sure that all the documents are correct, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And then it hits our balance sheet. So now you have finance on the back end going, okay, this is a good loan, and now it's affected our net interest margin and et cetera, which
Yep.
then plays into, all the way through. And so it's amazing to see kind of how that member comes in the front end and it gets their production pulls all the way through. And so the cool thing that a chief operating officer gets to do is orchestrate all of that and really make sure that everybody's working together. And that the front office is supporting the back office and the back office is supporting the front officer because we're all customers to each
Yep.
other, right?
Yep.
So you've got your member out here, but we need to internally be focused on the needs of each other in order to support that member or customer that's coming in our door. And so that's what I think I do. And as an executive with OneAZ, it's my job to make our strategy simple, easy to understand so that it aligns all the way down. And
Exactly.
when I can do that to our team and then help them orchestrate this beautiful thing that we've got going on to support our members and help them succeed financially, it's a win-win. And so
Yep.
I gotta say I do love coming to work every day.
Amazing, Laura. What I want to ask you one quick question across the role of a COO, right? So,
Sure.
what is that one skill that every COO should need to master in today's world?
One skill that every COO should master.
Yep.
I'm gonna say humbleness. Um,
That's a good one.
because when you've been in banking for 25 years, sometimes you think you know it all. And you need to be able to serve yourself a slice of humble pie, and because you don't know it all. But I promise you, your team does. And if you've got an amazing team, like I know I do, they serve me some humble pie on a regular basis. When I think, oh yeah, we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna do it this way, and this is the best idea ever, and they go, no way, that will never work. And you have to be able to step back and say, they're right. And that's okay. And sometimes we get so caught up in the way people see us or view us that we don't step back and really recognize that your team most likely knows how to do it way better than you ever will. And when you empower them and give them that motivation to rise to the occasion, they will deliver for you every time. And I think being humble and recognizing that is a key skill to being a great leader.
Absolutely. So, this was what we call as a section where we talk about journey, talk about uh, your career. So from this podcast, actually, it's a new experimentation that we are doing. We are talking about rapid fire, right? We're asking like quick questions, 5 questions, like a minute each.
Okay.
So, so you're the first guest with whom we are doing rapid fire.
Oh,
I
okay.
should I
Yay.
should have told you that.
That's okay.
Let's start maybe 5 questions, quick
Okay.
ones. AI in operations, it's hype or reality?
Reality. It's coming and we got to embrace it.
Remote work for operations, is it sustainable or temporary?
It's sustainable as long as it's hybrid. You still need to bring people into the office because you still need the camaraderie and you need to be able to see each other and build relationships. And that's just simply harder to do via online.
Yeah. Customer feedback, right? It's gold or it's just data.
Gold all day long. If you're not listening to what your customers are saying, you will become irrelevant.
Absolutely. Branch network, is it expanding or optimizing?
Oh, that's a good one. I'll speak to our credit union, and we're expanding. But I will say this to a caveat. There has to be an element of a blend of human and technology into the branches of the future. They can't look the way they look today.
Absolutely makes sense. Future of banking operations, human-led or tech-driven?
Both. So I'm going to take the easy path on that one. Without a doubt, technology is going to give us efficiencies. AI is going to give us efficiencies. But there still needs to be the human interaction in there to make sure that we've got a second set of eyes on it. We've got the decision making. Machines don't have a heart. And so I believe we can't lose that for who we are.
That makes sense, right? So this was a quick rapid fire round for us. Let's get back. Let's get
Okay.
back.
I like it. That was fun.
I know it's a lot of fun. Uh, Talking about your journey, Laura, right? I mean, obviously, uh, your journey has not been very easy. It had obviously bunch of roadblocks, bunch of
Sure.
challenges, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
One very uh, motivating component of this show, what people tell me, is when leaders talk about their challenges and they feel, my audiences feel that, okay, this is normal. It's happening with me. It's also happening with Laura. So we can talk about, Laura, any challenges that you faced in life and how have you overcome challenges? And as a human being, as an exec, right? How do you overcome challenges?
So that's a great question. So I think as I look across my journey, some of the challenges I have faced as a woman in finance is, making sure that I have a seat at the table. Number one. Number two, making sure that when I get the seat at the table, that my voice is heard. Number two, and then number three, figuring out my worth and being able to advocate for that. And those are three really tough challenges that I think women face today globally, but as well as in the financial industry. And the way I have overcome those, and I'll tell you, I struggle with them today. So I don't know if it's gotten easier, absolutely. But I don't know that any of those challenges necessarily go away. I feel like you just get better at navigating them. And so, what I would say that's been the difference for me is I've surrounded myself with an amazing group of women that I can call on at any time. And we support each other, because one of the issues that I see facing women is we don't always lift each other up. And sometimes we are our own worst enemies when it comes to supporting each other. And we've got to break that cycle. We have got to unite and lift each other up. And I know I have an amazing group of women, both in the financial industry and outside of the financial industry. Just like I said, my very first leader, Jackie Palmer, was probably one of the most influential women in my life at the time. And I could still call her today. I've got a group of COOs and CEOs that, we meet every year and we talk about the challenges, and I can call them any day, any hour of the day and say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Can you help me? And they will, and they'll give me honest feedback. And they don't mince words, and they'll hold me accountable to doing what I said I'm going to do. And I think that's been critical. Um, And I would also say I have some amazing male colleagues who are advocates and who help me know my worth and who help me, um, understand how to navigate this because men as well should be our advocates. And I've been fortunate enough to work with some amazing male colleagues at OneAZ who are supportive. They challenge me, they champion me. And so I think you've got to surround yourself with those people and be vulnerable with them because they can't help you if they don't know what you're working on. And we all have areas to work on. And so that kind of plays into that know your worth kind of piece that I talked about. And so when you can spend your time doing your self-development to know your worth and then be vulnerable enough to share what you need to work on with others, that's when you really get the real gold on how you can improve and have self-awareness and emotional intelligence. And I think that's been the difference maker for me.
That's the most important thing. Understand. Since you're a proponent of AI, right? I mean, you think that technology is future. Let me ask you a question, right? So how does OneAZ leverage technology to streamline member services?
Yeah, today we're using technology to understand what our members are saying to us around feedback. So we use a lot of AI today in our workforce management platforms. We use AI today in capturing members' feedback. I think our next step in using AI is how do we streamline some of the back office systems and processes that we do today that are very, very manual. So a great example will be we review a lot of documents and wills and trusts, et cetera, et cetera. And those are all done by our amazing back office team. But they could be so much, if we had AI there to review those documents for us, man, these amazing people could spend their time on so many other great things to support the credit union versus reading these 10-page documents.
Yeah.
And so we're meeting on a regular basis with our team. We have a great chief strategy officer who is looking at all the ways, his name is Osman Olhak, and he's looking at all the ways that AI can help us streamline some of these. And he's partnering with our chief technology officer, Sandeep Ultra, to figure out that, what we can do to embrace AI to allow our amazing associates to spend their time on more high level and productive things within the bank versus some of these manual tasks. So
this was great, Laura. This was great, right? One quick parting question is looking at the current macro and microeconomic conditions, right?
Yeah.
How do you think 2025 has panned out so far, and how is 2025 looking like?
Whew. Well, 2025 has already been an interesting year. I think that we're still going to see a lot of turmoil. I think there's still a lot of discussion on whether or not there'll be a recession. There's a lot of discussion on what's going to happen with the Fed and what they're going to do there. I think we have a great CFO, Mike Bowden, and he coaches us all the time on just stick to what we know. What are we in the business for? And that's people helping people. And if we do that, and if we have a good plan, no matter what happens in the world around us, yes, we have to be aware of it. But if we stick to that, we're going to be just fine. And so we're focused on our members. We're focused on helping people, and we'll weather this storm no matter what happens.
Absolutely, Laura. It's absolute pleasure to have you in the show today. And again, I mean, I can't thank you enough. So completely thank you for doing the show with us and have a great one.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Absolutely.
Thank you.